Hi, my name is Robin Clements, and this is my self-mentoring video reflection. When I first heard the term self-mentoring, and I think I even referred to this in my initial discussion board, I assumed it was just sort of guiding yourself through a SMART goal sort of process. And I've learned that it's quite a bit more. It was really an unknown process to me. Um, and my expectation of the process was just someone who makes goals or states that I want to do this and figures out a way to make it happen. And there is more to this process. I was pleasantly surprised by that. And the point I am in my career and the office environment I'm in would lend itself well to me trying self mentoring. After the readings in the discussion board, I stated, I have on the left, on my discussion board, that self-mentoring is an independent process in which one deliberately commits to a process to self-analyze oneself, then engages in intentional steps toward a personal goal or skill development. And I liked that, but once I read some others, it wasn't quite where I wanted things to be. I really liked Diana's point, which I put in quotes here on the right. This process helps us learn self identity. The entire point of self mentoring is to help us develop our identity more, especially in the workplace. It helps us acknowledge fears and impediments and get clarity on expectations going forward. And while I don't feel that that's a whole definition, just like I don't feel that mine is, really liked that it captured some of the items that I missed. 50 words or less can make that a little difficult. What I really want to reflect on is on page 14, it mentions a question that you, Dr. Carr, found yourself asking when you took on a new role. What would improve my situation and what holds me back? I've been there. I feel like I'm still there, even though I've been at my job for 5.5 years. There's just some strange environmental factors going on. And first, I appreciate that someone so much more advanced than me could still have those thoughts. But I feel like that's the beginning of self mentoring. That's where things start. What would improve my situation? What holds me back? And then the next step is, what am I going to do about it? Self reflect or self mentoring requires honesty with oneself. So this isn't a process that some can just jump right into. Unless you can be honest with yourself, you won't be successful at self mentoring. So sometimes it's helpful to have a colleague or a friend who is known to be honest with you to assist in the process, even though it's an individual process. I was really, really intrigued by the idea that environmental factors can impact self mentoring in the workplace. I have a job that there's some really interesting team members. I've learned a lot from them, but they do impact the environment. And so I probably wouldn't want them on my self mentoring team, which is my next bullet. On page 58, you posed some organizational questions that we can ask ourselves when evaluating our environment, which is an initial step in the process of self mentoring. And some of the questions are value statements or mission vision statements posted visibly for everyone to observe. I was in a team retreat yesterday at work, and it was announced that our office actually has a mission statement. I've been there 5.5 years and had no idea because there's nothing stated anywhere. Remembering this book, I immediately suggested we should get that get that printed on a big scale and post it in our office to help us remember what we're doing and the why behind what we're doing. Another question that you mentioned is there diversity among the staff? Is diversity welcomed? That second question, when I'm thinking about environmental factors and how I can already apply some of this to my own self mentoring project. Yes and no. There's some diversity, not much. Some people appreciate it more than others. Are ideas shared or guarded and kept secret? An interesting question about environment, and then a question about, are employees valued? Another interesting question when I think about my environment, my immediate team versus my office team as a whole. I was really excited about the idea of self mentoring after reading the book. I think it's something that's going to help propel me forward to the next step in my career as I'm wrapping up earning my master's, which I'll earn in December. And when I'm ready to make that change, kind of evaluating how to proceed. So I'm excited to tackle the project. I did choose self mentoring, and I'm ready to get going on that. And let's see if it'll let me go forward one more. This is my references page. I have the self-mentoring book and then Diana's post as well.